When we look at your conditions outside right now, we're slightly cooler than average. Average overnight would be about 50 degrees. We're at 45 in Santee, 47 in Carlsbad, 50 in National City. As you make your way toward the coastline in downtown, 52 degrees is where we're at right now. Now, as we talked about a little earlier, there are plenty of spots, especially right by the coast. So that's going to be downtown San Diego, Chula Vista, National City, Carlsbad too. We're seeing some fog out there. So that's going to be the biggest trouble that we have this morning is going to be visibility. And we'll watch for what those times look like across the county in just a bit. And then, of course, also check in at the international airport once those flights start going to make sure that they're able to take off and land as expected. Trough of low pressure is encouraging this onshore flow. It's that counterclockwise movement, and that's helping encourage that cloud cover to push onshore. We're going to watch for another trough of low pressure to arrive as we get toward about Wednesday, Thursday timeframe. That's not going to arrive in San Diego per se, but way up around the Pacific Northwest. And while that will bring plenty of wet weather around that area, we will be left out of that rainfall. What we're going to see, though, is a big change as we go from the second trough of low pressure about midweek with temperatures around average, pretty mild, cloud cover in the morning, clearer afternoons. And we're going to start to shift toward county-wide sunshine. We're going to shift toward much warmer temperatures, especially in the afternoon stretch, and much clearer skies. That's because of this ridge of high pressure. It's going to be moving clockwise, and what this is going to essentially do is encourage that air to sink. And instead of that air rising and condensing and clouds being pushed up along the coastline, that air is going to start to sink and pressure is going to climb toward the surface, which is going to help prevent any cloud cover from building. So a fantastic weekend ahead, almost a brief little glimmer of what our summer might look like. It's going to be short-lived because we don't expect that trough of low pressure to stay in place for too long, but something to watch for. This afternoon, we are mostly in the 60s out by the coast, mostly in the upper 60s and low 70s as you make your way east. Escondido, Ramona, La Mesa, looking at highs today of 71 degrees, 75 for El Cajon, and out by the coast, mainly 60s. Let's talk about that warm-up that's going to be expected by the weekend. You see how today, tomorrow, we're mainly in the low, maybe mid-60s out there, even that 10% shot at some scattered showers thanks to that dense marine layer. 63 degrees on Tuesday afternoon, and then look at that climb as we start to make our way toward the weekend, especially as we go from Thursday into Friday. So you can kind of separate these into two, where the work week itself is right around average. There's not much of a change in that. Some morning clouds that break apart by the afternoon. And then take a look at the weekend. Along the coast, we're in the 70s out there. Plenty of sunshine. Could make it all the way up to 73 by Sunday across our coastline. And then inland, we'll see a pretty similar climb on hand. Mid-70s expected by this upcoming Sunday. Cloud cover hangs out through about Thursday. And then it's that transition Friday that brings us to the widespread 70s inland, maybe even mid-70s at that. For the mountains, they'll be in the 60s all the way through Friday, and then could break into the 70s by Saturday with that sunshine. Deserts have a high of 83 this afternoon, and then we'll make it all the way up to about 85 as that ridge of high pressure comes overhead. So maybe a brief little taste of a summer-like weather pattern as we get toward this weekend.